Everything smells like pot. East California, a Belbon Boulevard. Let's zoom out. Rough neighborhood. Super sketch. Great place to die. Oh my goodness. Waspy estates, yimbys, hay, overpriced condos, rich bridge commuters. Let's pretend we're in Austin. Trendy AF. Now this may be one of our most controversial map videos we've ever done on this channel. And this is going to be walking you through the Dallas, Texas hood maps. And yes, you heard that right. And that's, by the way, that's what the website is called, the hood maps. So they've got some pretty unique names here for the surrounding neighborhoods of Dallas, Texas. And I'm going to walk you through, as a local here, I've lived here for over 20 plus years, probably going on 25 years now that I've lived in the Dallas neighborhood. And I'm going to do the best I can to share with you why they're naming these neighborhoods, these nicknames, and you can make the decision for yourself. Is this a place where you may want to live? Let's jump back in the map and take a look around, because this is going to be hilarious. All right, so now if I zoom out here a little bit on Dallas, we got quite a few neighborhoods that they've got tagged in here for some nicknames here. So let's just go right to downtown and jump right in here to everything smells like pot. Well, of course, downtown, you've got a good mix of condo living, not a lot of townhomes. Townhomes are going to be a little bit more on the outskirts, but your main streets here of Commerce, Elm, and Main Street run right through the middle. And of course, when you're downtown, guess what? You're gonna smell some pot. You know, for whatever reason, it's funny because I never really see people smoking it, but you know, you see the smell, or you don't see the smells. You smell the smells, and you're kind of like, I know what's going on around here. Some riffraff for sure. So of course, that's going to happen downtown. You know, the main business district of downtown, where a lot of the high rises are at. But the high rises, of course, are scattered all throughout here. And I know this map is colored a little busy on here, but you can see heavy concentration on here. Even right here, no one lives here. Well, that's because it's such a heavy concentration of office buildings that there's no residential units inside of that area. So if we scoot down here, you can see just offices as well. And, you know, I'm not familiar with East California, but I do know this area is, you know, in the middle of transition, you could say. So you got a combination of a lot of commercial, more like old manufacturing buildings, and that situation, you're starting to see a lot of those converted into apartments. So they're starting to use that quite a bit. So if that reminds you of East California, maybe so, that could be the case. But let's jump down here to Belbon Boulevard. I mean, this is, you know, not too far from one of the jails in Dallas. So of course, you know, that's where all the offices are going to be for people that offer bail bonds and those types of situations. I want to scoot down here a little bit because you got Bishop Arts District down here, which is one of my favorite areas. And you can see here now, they're labeling this as gentrifying tourist bubble and trendy AF, of course. And you can see right here, Bishop Arts District. Now, one of my favorite areas, we've vlogged it before, and all of the homes surrounding are craftsmen and bungalows, 100-year-old, 120-year-old homes. But they're going, it's actually the fastest growing appreciation neighborhood in all of Dallas. Over the last decade, home prices have doubled, tripled, even quadrupled. I mean, in this neighborhood, you're looking at homes that were once, you know, 100,000, 200,000 are now going for 800,000, 900,000 if they're remodeled. So people are trying, but even now, some of the rehabs and most of the homes, I wouldn't say most now, half the homes that are still available that have not been rehabbed are complete gut jobs, but people are trying to sell those off for $400,000 or $500,000. When just you know, a few years back, you could get those for maybe $200,000, $150,000 even. But since Bishop Arts has made a comeback over here, it's gentrifying quite a bit, or transitioning, whatever it is you want to call it. But I mean, they're fixing things up, and you know, that is driving prices up. West Davis Street is a heavy commercial, as well as coming down here through, you know, North Bishop Avenue. So you have a lot of really boutique shops and restaurants, bars. It's cool, man. I like it, you know, and I've looked at some of the homes a lot in that area, thought about even living down there myself. On top of that, nothing wrong with it. You've got an easy shot to downtown Dallas. If you're going to be commuting, you can easily hop onto 67 here or to I-30. Also up here is Kessler Park. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods. There's a lot of elevation change throughout there, some hills, huge trees everywhere. It's amazing. I mean, it's just one of my favorite old school neighborhoods. A lot of mid-century moderns in there, some Tudors. Again, you're looking at now 70, 80, 100-year-old homes in Kessler Park area, and that's north there. So you see rich bridge commuters eating out. Some of this area is developing quite nicely for restaurants, of course, and so they're saying if you live across the bridge in some of the rich areas, then you're just doing a quick commute over here to, experience some of the trendy food over around here. Now, some of these areas throughout here still are, a little bit on, or I should say, have not been rehabbed recently and still, looking back at their original glory from 50, 60 years ago. So that's why some people would say it's a transitioning area, because you're going to have patches. I mean, you could have one block where you can see things have been remodeled, rehabbed, looking really nice, transitioned. The next block, abandoned buildings, abandoned homes, boarded up, those types of situations. So over here, let's pretend we are in Austin. Again, a lot of these older homes in these neighborhoods that people are getting into, and prices are just going through the roof, growing rapidly. And so they're fixing up these old homes and then just charging a high price. People are looking for, something quick and easy commutes to Dallas. I mean, if you pop right here onto I-30, you're going to head right over. If I show you right here, here's I-30. So if you pop right up here and you drive right into downtown Dallas, I mean, you've got maybe 10 to 15 minutes here, and then depending on traffic. I mean, if you go first thing in the morning and hit rush hour, that could bog you down a little bit, but otherwise it's not that bad of a commute coming in here. So they're looking at all these neighborhoods that are very well established, a lot of mid-century moderns, again, a lot of 80-year-old Tudors, even some 100-year-old homes throughout here, rehabbing them, buying them, fixing, flipping, turning around, charging a premium for that. And people are going for it, and that's what's happened in Austin, where it's just been a continuation of house prices really growing rapidly. I think Dallas has been mostly under control for quite some time until 2022 happened, and we just saw the influx coming in from all the other states, in particular California, New York, Washington State, Illinois. I mean, they were just flooding into Dallas at that time. A lot of times because there was even so much activity in Austin. Normally, they flock down to Austin first, which really makes that market fluctuate up and down quite a bit. Dallas has been pretty steady Eddie, but even now, Dallas is starting to come down a little bit, but that it's still higher than it was in 2020, 2021. So prices are still up there, and we're still seeing a lot of activity going on here. Overpriced condos right up in here, just over the bridge again, just outside of downtown Dallas. This area is transitioning a lot. They're calling this West Dallas, Trinity Groves area. And again, much older homes, but what they're doing is they're just tearing down in this area and then building new construction homes. So not even a lot of rehabbing going on in these areas. I mean, they're tearing down some like blocks and putting up apartment complexes, tearing down the single family homes, putting up new construction. So it just depends, a lot of these areas, Bishop Arts, a lot of the neighborhoods around there, Kessler Park, Winteca Heights down here, most of them are deemed historic neighborhoods, so you can't just tear down homes. Up here, I don't believe we have really any established historic neighborhoods. They might start working on it now just because the developers have been going in there and knocking everything down, building condos, apartment complexes, and things like that. So you got a pretty heavy concentration right over the bridge here too in West Dallas or Trinity Groves area. Really cool spot for some really good restaurants and bars. The nightlife is picking up over there quite a bit on there. Okay, well, we'll skip that over here, but I think you get the idea of what that is. Uptown Yuppies, of course. This is Uptown, Uptown of downtown Dallas. Uptown, you've got all your yuppies, I guess you could say. And so a lot of young folks in this area. I mean, their 20s, they're moving in this area, the 30s, usually young professionals, singles, very well known for the singles hanging out over here. But they have a lot of cool single family homes throughout here, but again, 100-year-old home, Tudors and Craftsmans and bungalows, but they're nestled in throughout, and they're expensive, probably $1 million plus if you're going to find one. But I love some of those single family homes nestled back here in Uptown. Plus, you're just literally right in the middle of everything. I mean, you got access to everything you need. Of course, McKinney Avenue, which runs up and down through right here, McKinney Avenue. You know, they got the little trolley that runs through here, but McKinney is one of the most popular streets in Dallas, Texas. Restaurants, bars, shopping, everything you need, and you know, runs right through here, quite a ways up, all the way up into the Knox-Henderson area. Even beyond that, but still, I mean, that's where in the Knox-Henderson area, you've got the main flow of where all the activity is going on. So yeah, you got your yuppies. Leaning Tower of Dallas, RIP. They tried to blow up, you know, some really old buildings. They're doing a massive development here, and basically building out, you know, a couple of city blocks. But they had to, they had to blow up all the old buildings, right? Demolish them. And it went wrong. And one of the towers, you know, basically went to collapse, and then it just tilted just like that. So now it's known as the Leaning Tower of Dallas, but they just recently were able to go in. And the thing is that when you go into a leaning tower, you've got to get all kinds of regulations and safety protocols passed, because it's just unsafe to go in there. So to even be able to go in there and place new dynamite and things like that just takes time. I guess they could use the wrecking ball, but they just finally were able to demolish the rest of that. And so now they're working on that multi-billion-dollar project here. Okay, you can see here. Hey, I'll just say that. Hey, you know, so you get a good idea of a concentration area over here, which is popular for the guys. We'll just say that. I mean, this is where a lot of them, where the guys come to play. But yes, bars, restaurants, single family homes, condos, townhomes, those types of areas. I mean, they like to hang out in these particular areas and also purchase real estate. And then you have over here the $30,000 millionaires. Of course, this is the kiddos that have the most expensive cars, but then they're renting a $1,500, $1,800 apartment. All right, so let's see, uptight straight bars. All right, so yeah, so this is where I guess you can't get a date maybe if you go in there looking for one. All right, so uptight, maybe the guys are a little uptight as well. They think they're 30,000 millionaires, but that just refers to the people that their car payment is more likely more than their apartment. So they're renting, they have an apartment, and they probably have something around here between $1,500 to $2,000, but they have an amazing car. And so, you know, pull up to the stoplight and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's got some money. And then you're like, where do you live? And he's like, oh, I'm over in that apartment over there. But anyways, it's kind of funny, 30,000 millionaires. But yeah, you could probably find some of those people right over in that area. Bro's named Chad, of course. I guess Chad is the Chad of guys. I guess the Karen of they use the name Karen for females, and then they have Chads and Brads, right? Chads and Brads, I think, but Chads, yeah. Bro's named Chad. So all the idiots over there that people would refer to him as that. These people have butlers. Yep, you're getting into some high price areas. What did that say? Too many preppy white people. Yeah, I mean they're taking over these areas. You're seeing a lot of transition off of Carlisle Street, Allen Street, Cole Avenue. Again, really high priced condos and townhomes going on over there. And let me get out here. Major gentrification. This is all over in Old East Dallas. One of my favorite neighborhoods on top of that. Let's zoom out. Let's see, historical WASP estates. Okay, yeah. So you've got a lot of the WASP, I guess you could say, taking over this area, right? And it's funny why they would call it that. Stay away. Okay, danger zone, I think I saw over here. Yeah, danger zone, stay away, no zone, rough neighborhood, super sketch. All right, so I mean, the only thing I can advise you on here is just check the crime stats in the area to be notified. I mean, over here they have, the state fair is over in this area. They've got the Cotton Bowl right here, Fair Park. That's where the state fair goes, Cotton Bowl. That's where the Longhorns and the Sooners, Oklahoma Sooners, have the Red River Shootout each year. So I've hung out in this area a ton of times, especially whenever, I was living over here in Old East Dallas, right in the middle of the WASP estates and major gentrification. And same thing over in Old East Dallas in my neighborhood. Same thing, transitioning neighborhoods and a lot of old homes. I was in a historic district over there. I had a 100-year-old home. Still do, by the way. It's a rental now. And I love that area. I mean, I think a lot of times about moving back there. So, I like it. But it's just funny to see this. Now, again, check the crime stats over here. Quite a bit of issues do come up in these areas. But overall, I know a few people that have lived over in these areas. I mean, it's just one of those things where you got to be diligent at all times. I would say I'm always got an eye out for where I'm at and what's going on around me. And, I always like to face the door when I'm sitting inside at a restaurant, just to be sure. Hey, it's Levi here. And if you're thinking about moving to the Dallas, Texas area or the surrounding suburbs, go ahead and subscribe below so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Dallas, Texas. And Travis and I just love helping people just like you make their move here. So whether that's 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out. All of our contact information is below. We'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Dallas. So all of that area, but I mean, I know a lot of people that have moved in these areas. And they're fine, but at night, that's the other thing. I mean, same thing like here, like late night, world famous tattoos. This is the Deep Ellum area. So you see late night, music, bars, art, world famous tattoos, all true. But on the weekends, Friday and Saturday night, the crowd gets a little rough out there, and they do. So, I think during the day, I love Deep Ellum. I love going down there. We had an office. Our Dallas office was down in Deep Ellum. So during the day, I'm all about it. Lots of really cool restaurants, shops. I mean, it's made a huge comeback. When I was in high school in the 90s, this was all the rage back in Deep Ellum. I actually got one of my tattoos here as soon as I turned 18. And so, the thing is, and then, in the early 2000s, 2010, it really took a nosedive. 2015, 2018, they started to come back and pay attention to it again. And it's been really, really well transitioned into restoring a lot of the old historic buildings. And just look at that. If I zoom in there, you can see all the shops and restaurants and everything that's going on in there. But you wouldn't catch me there on a Friday or Saturday night. It just gets rough, I mean, and that's, people doing drifting and, all kinds of stuff. So any type of, where there's a lot of drinking involved. Same thing that happens at games, I mean, games, I try to avoid games as much as possible just because of that reason. I mean, there's just a lot of rowdy people sometimes. But, I'll still go. Friday and Saturday night could be a little questionable on there, and so it's just best not to hang out there. Let's see, people chilling. Okay, so trendy, we covered that area. Overpriced condos, Yimby's, hip straight bars, Strollerwood. This is Lakewood. Everything here is practically over $1 million. This is one of my favorite neighborhoods, Lakewood, just from the trees, the streets, the homes. Everything there is almost 100 years old. It's right next to the lake, White Rock Lake. You got a 9-mile track that goes all the way around White Rock Lake. It's great for biking and I guess you could say hiking and walking, and just these beautiful fall and spring days are just amazing to go out there. But yeah, also some really highly rated elementary schools here in Lakewood as well. So known for that. So Strollerwood, and that's pretty funny. More yuppies over here, it looks like. Let's see, college kids, nothing special. Okay, college kids. What did I see up here? There was Dallas Best Shopping, so the Dallas North Park Mall, Xanax and Chardonnay. So yeah, that's all the rich people with rich people problems, I guess you could say, right? That are just taking Xanax with their Chardonnay. Let's see, most Republican precinct in Dallas. Synagogues, I mean, you could say rich old people. Yeah, I mean that you're getting into the park cities, Highland Park and University Park throughout this area. Some of the most expensive homes in all of Dallas. I move up here to even Preston Hollow. Yeah, W lives here, so George W. Bush is in this area. $10 million plus homes. They call this Billionaires Row over here. Mark Cuban, Ross Perot back in the day, and many others. Have homes, George W. Bush in this area. Very, very expensive, super wealthy Republicans, neocons. So you can see, I mean, this is why they're labeling it. I can see why they're labeling it, all of this, ranch houses, friendly gay couples with cute homes. There you go. Low-key Korean, old Korean town, sketchy bars. Now, I will say this, sketchy bars. What did I see? Oh, strippers. Strippers, yeah, this area is known for massage parlors, you could say. Massage parlors that have been busted many a times, okay, for extra massaging. Can I say that on YouTube? I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, it's in the news, so I'm not stating anything that you can't look up and see on the news. But yeah, through these streets, you can see here, it's funny. This is kind of known for, I don't want to say known for, but over, yeah, 5 years ago, maybe, yeah, strippers that I know back in high school, you know, coming up around Dallas, driving around this area, I remember it was pointed out to me, like, what can I say to be safe? Let's just say, yeah, you'll see ladies hanging out on the streets at night in these areas. And then you have the massage parlors, and you go in there and you get massages, and then all of a sudden they get busted by police, right? So that's been quite a bit on the news. Ranch houses, yes, okay, finally something respectable. Ranch houses, so homes built like in the 50s and 60s and 70s, just your single story brick homes, just kind of like one long layout for a ranch house. Yeah, quite a bit of a heavy concentration of those up there. Fake businessmen and high school couples, rich pasty white boys. All right, yeah. All right, I could, yeah, I've got a couple of rich, pasty white boy friends that live up there. Let's see, upscale chain restaurants. Oh, yeah, here in Addison, Beltline Road, it was known as, I'm not sure, but it was Restaurant Row here on Beltline, Foodie Haven. This whole road of Beltline running through Addison is just jam-packed. I mean, it's like every single thing is a restaurant almost, running down that whole strip. Back in the day, we were always like, yeah, let's go to Beltline. It's so cool. It's definitely had some nightlife there on top of it. I mean, I just haven't been over there for those reasons in quite some time. Although one of my favorite restaurants is called Ida Claire, like Ida Claire. So it's like her name, but it's also Ida Claire, which is pretty cool. And it's over in this area off of Beltline and Quorum. And I really do love it. So European style living. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Mediterranean style homes over in this area. Wealthy and chill. Yep, higher priced over here. When you're between the tollway right here in Preston Road, they call this the Golden Corridor, right through, you know, between the tollway and Preston Road. Everything's pretty much expensive running through there. You can see how it cuts right through the middle of Dallas and runs on down there. Let's jump back over here to see what they have popping. Ruin your car just driving here. Yeah, a lot of potholes, bad roads, and then 635 is like always under construction, always torn up. So that's a really good one. A cheap rent. Okay, they're old money. Okay. Dog park. Yes, dog park. Okay. More white liberals. You know, this is funny because I was over here actually looking at some houses. Like I said, I've really been kind of eyeballing back over in these areas. I just love these areas. I mean, from the historical standpoint, not from what they have listed here. But, you know, there was just an election that happened recently. And, you know, up here in North Dallas, you see a lot of you know who signs. I'll see in the red corner. Let's say in the red corner. In the red corner, you see a lot of those signs up in North Dallas. When I was over here, and you see almost zero signs for the blue corner. And whenever I was over here driving around, especially a lot through these neighborhoods, you can see how the roads are a little bit more spaced out. And that's because you got some elevation changes through there. You have massive trees everywhere. It's amazing. Close by the lake. And I saw, that was all I saw was blue corner signs. Right. So I don't even want to say names just because I don't know, they might get after me on here. I don't know. I might get in trouble just for making this video in general, just because, you know, I don't know. But I'm just sharing what's on this map and trying to be as diplomatic as possible. So let's see here. Gunshots at night. All right. I can't speak to that, but again, check the crime stats. Nice ranch homes next door to trashy ones. Again, when you're looking at, I mean, Richardson, they've got some cool spots in Richardson. Future City Line, yeah, maybe they bring Dallas up to there, you can see. But Richardson's got some really cool spots, cool neighborhoods, a lot of ranch-style homes there, but they've been remodeled, a lot of mid-century modern homes that are getting remodeled, some really cool pockets of neighborhoods in there. And let's see here, UT Doan's Bike Trail, ugly concrete buildings, yeah, I could go with that. So ugly concrete buildings, nerds, maybe a lot of professors live around there. So University of Dallas over in that area. Okay, rich people with families. Let's see here. Let's see if I can see boring rich people. Okay, watch out for cyclists. Yep, a lot of cyclists over in this area. Aggressive crossover SUVs. I could go with that one as well. So makes sense. I could see that on top of it. All you can eat Korean barbecue. I think we kind of covered that one. Let's zoom. There was once a lake here. Is that Lake Caroline right there? Let's see. In Irving. Oh, maybe no, maybe that's up here. So it's kind of hard. This is really smells. Yeah, there's some smelly activity going on over there. So, but you can see, let's see, what do they got? American Airlines, big airport. That's true. We can agree with that. And let's see what other areas they've got on here. Your high school bully lives here. That's funny. Horrible intersection. There are some interesting intersections over there. I could agree with that. Let's pretend we're wealthy. Okay, so a lot more of those 30,000 millionaires. These cops are too serious. So somebody clearly got pulled over there. They're getting some tickets. On top of that, curfew breaker central. Probably a bunch of kids running around in that area. And Sunnyvale is hope. That's funny. This is just a small community down here. Right on the lake, and it's starting to get developed out as well. Kind of like a hidden gem, you know. There's some new construction happening over here. I pay Dallas taxes, so they're right on the border of Dallas, and but they pay Dallas taxes, so they're trying to claim Dallas, even though you're kind of moving into the Mesquite area over here, which, by the way, Mesquite, that's where Travis grew up. All right, to be gentrified in 25 years, so that's what they're eyeballing next. Over here, Lameville, there's Mesquite. Yeah, most of Mesquite right here. So, yep, Travis grew up in Lameville. So, very interesting. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I may get in some serious trouble here for running through all this. I'm not sure. But, you know, actually, if you're local here in Dallas, let me know your thoughts. And then let's see, shady people. Let's see, truckers galore. Feed the ducks. Oh, that seems nice. Yeah, get down here by the lakes and the ponds and you can feed the ducks. Okay, so you can see quite a few areas in here as well. But again, this is downtown Dallas. It doesn't really go up to North Dallas too much. It kind of cuts off right before we hit into the North Dallas area. I would love to see a hood map on North Dallas, what that has to say. But I know that they've got these for other cities. So you can probably check one out in your area on top of that. But the main thing is that, you know, it's funny because just kind of looking around in here and, oh yeah, here's 200,000K college loans, 80K cars, exactly. So kids coming out of SMU or Southern Methodist University, one of the most expensive colleges, private colleges. And yeah, you're going to have $200,000 tuition and then you got the $80,000 car. So you're just coming out in massive debt when you're coming out of there. Again, yeah, you got the mansions, everything going on. So it's just kind of funny to look around there. When you're in and around, you know, the downtown of any area, I think it's probably the same in all these cities. You know, you're going to find areas that you love and areas that maybe you're not so much in love with as well. I like just a little bit of mix of everything. You know, the whole reason I'm even looking back in Dallas is because I like the variety. I like what's going on around there. And, you know, we came up into, you know, in the North Dallas area and the Prosper area almost 2 years ago. And it's cool. But I would just, you know, I mean, if you want to get to a lake and get to some hiking and biking, yeah, sure. But, you know, for me, I don't know. I just like the hustle and bustle of the city. I'm just a city guy, even though I grew up in the country. Like I was country the first half of my life, literally growing up in a cow town where dairy farms and riding bulls was the norm there. And I just always had a desire to get to the city. And then I moved to Dallas after the military, and I fell in love with Dallas, and I still love Dallas. And yeah, do I drive around some areas sometimes and I'm like, But you know what the funny thing is even in high school, I used to clean the floors for Chief Auto Parts, which that was before AutoZone bought them out and closed them out. So if any of you are old enough to remember Chief Auto Parts, let me know in the comments. But I used to clean the floors of Chief Auto Parts. Now, some would argue that those were only placed in neighborhoods that are a little bit concerning. But I was there running around all the time cleaning my stores with a lot of equipment in my van and never really thought twice. I just got out, did my job. I mean, I was loading equipment in and out. I'd be there early in the morning. I'd be there late at night, you know, running around to all these different stores. And I just went on my route. And so wherever store I was at, no matter what time, even if it was at night, I just ran my route. I wasn't concerned about it. And the same thing is like living in Old East Dallas. You have a block that has been transitioned. You have a block that has not. And that just means that, you know, a lot of the buildings, the homes, even maybe even commercial spots haven't been fixed up or cleaned up, or they've been sitting abandoned for quite some time, which to some people that looks sketch to them. To me, it's opportunity, and I love restoring old homes, and I've done a few of those, not as much as I want. Probably if that's something I could do full time, it would just be restoring old historic homes and buildings back to their glory with new stuff, tile that looks 100 years old, but it's brand new. Faucets and fixtures that look 100 years old, but it's brand new. Updated cabinets though, and some countertops, but it just depends on the piece. And so otherwise, you get a lot of variety. I think when you're coming down to Dallas, a lot of great spots regardless. This map is just poking fun at some of the things that go on around there. And that's the same for any city. But, the main thing is that depending on where you want to be, North Dallas, I would say a little bit less exciting, right? I mean, that's, a lot more development, a lot of new construction. You're not seeing things that are abandoned or have been for many years because everything's practically brand new. A lot of cookie cutter neighborhoods. And so, you just got to decide, like, are you a cookie cutter neighborhood type of person? Although I think they do a really good job up here in the North Dallas area of creating neighborhoods that are not cookie cutter. For example, like the one I'm in, and now they're doing this in a lot of communities. They will have one builder, but it'll have 12 different floor plans to pick from, or 4 different elevations, which just means like the facade of the house, 12 different plans. And then on the same street, like maybe they only build 1 or 2 of that style of home. So even if they build out, 12 homes or 24 homes on that street, 1 or 2 max will look like your home, and it'll probably be down the street or a block away or something like that. So they do a really good job with these communities up here now, as far as navigating that and not making them look so cookie cutter. But again, I'm just looking down in Dallas again, just because I think about getting down there, getting closer to the lakes and downtown area, kind of like the hustle and bustle. A lot more opportunities on the boutique restaurants and bars, which I like, less strip malls, more little individual things. So everything has its pros and cons. And you just got to look at, where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the middle of everything, or do you want to be up north where, you've got a little bit less of the hustle and bustle, but everything's under construction? You've got schools that if you looked online, you probably are going to find higher ratings compared to a lot of the Dallas schools. And that's usually people's first, inclination to head to that area. But a lot of factors can always play into that. The main thing is that just give us a call. All of that information is below. But if you're really considering a move to the Dallas area, make sure you check out this next video because it will help you on your home search.